utilization of magnetic iron oxide over manganese oxide nanocomposite and its application in dye degradation. First, what motivated me to go for the dye degradation? You see these textiles that you wear every day, they are beautiful, you enjoy them, enjoy the fabric, but behind that, this is all that happens. There is a lot of wastewater that is produced due to the manufacturing of these fabrics. There are some facts and figures that I'll show you which will tell more details about them. In India, around 2% of the national GDP is due to the textile industry. 14% of the industrial production is just textiles. And 70% of the water consumed in India is below the WHO standards. 80% of the rural illnesses are due to these reasons. 20% of deaths of children below 5 years is also because of the same problem. So, to mitigate this, we need to look for the solutions. Now, I'll change the gears and tell you about some materials that I chose. These are octahedral molecular seals. There are different structures of these octahedral molecular seals. So, basically, these octahedral molecular seals of MnO2 is formed by 6 oxygen molecules around the manganese. A beautiful octahedral structure is formed, this single component. And these are different OMS structures. This is octahedral layer of manganese oxide, and this is another bi-octahedral layer of the manganese oxide. There is one cation in between and some water molecules that stabilize this layer. And this is 3x3 OMS structure, octahedral molecular seal structure, and this is 2x2 octahedral molecular seal structure. This is called cryptomelaine. I choose cryptomelaine OMS2 as the material for the catalysis. Why did I choose cryptomelaine? Because cryptomelaine had an oxidation state of 3.82, which was switching between Mn2+, Mn3+, and Mn4+. That was advantageous. I could use that oxidation state for the catalytic process to happen. And the composition of KOMS2 was KMn8, O16 and N times H2O. This had a 4.6 into 4.6 angstroms area in between them. And there is a cation, that is potassium here, to stabilize the structure. And with the OMS, with the octahedral molecular seals, I wanted to recycle this OMS and reuse it for more number of catalytic processes. So I choose the magnetic iron oxide over the OMS structure so that I could recycle it easily. Because in many industries, they don't go for the cleanup process of the dyes and other chemicals because it's expensive and it produces secondary waste products. If you coat it with a material that can be easily recovered, then it becomes easy for the industries also to implement in their systems. So this is easy to synthesize. Co-precipitation is used in synthesis of the magnetite, and this has a appreciable band gap of 2.3 to 3 electron volts, and it is super pyromagnetic. And why I chose iron oxide over other magnetic materials? Iron oxide is less toxic or non-toxic than nickel and cobalt. I choose manganese oxide octahedral molecular seals and iron oxide nanoparticles. Together, I made this nanocomposite, both catalytic property and magnetic property. I could recover the material because of the catalytic property, magnetic property. And the synthesis of this composite. First, I took Mn2+ salt Mn2+ salt and potassium permanganate and refluxed it for 24 hours with nitric acid. I got the manganese oxide octahedral molecular seals. I dried it, powdered them. Then, with the co-precipitation process, I made the iron oxide. And at the end, I put the octahedral molecular sieves dry powder for aging. Over the octahedral molecular sieves, the iron oxide grows. And this was the resultant powder. The characterization results. This is the scanning electron microscopy images of octahedral molecular sieves. Here you can see these are octahedral molecular sieves, like they are all together. And because of the presence of iron oxide, the white dot particles. And this is the X-ray diffraction results. The peaks of the octahedral molecular sieves are here, and the peaks of the iron oxide. Here I observed a difference in the size of the particles. When only octahedral molecular sieves were considered for AFM, the average particle size is 80 nanometers for each octahedral molecular sieves. But when I made a nanocomposite of the same with the iron oxide, the particle size of this composite was around 16 nanometers each. So that was a change that I observed. Because the octahedral molecular sieves is a very porous structure, they were coagulating together. But when I used the iron oxide to coat over them, they made up more surface area for the particles. And these are some results that I achieved with the dye degradation using the nanocomposite. This is the schematics of how the process happens. These are the iron oxide. This is just a schematic. The dye is adsorbed over the surface of the octahedral molecular sieves. Then, using the magnet, I again separate the nanocomposite to reuse it. I also compared the degradation using only iron oxide, only OMS, and as well as the nanocomposite. The results of nanocomposite were much better because the surface area of the particles were increased. I showed you some results in the AFM where the surface area like the particle size is decreasing. That means the surface area of the nanoparticles increased. And this had a pseudo second order. The kinetics were similar to the pseudo second order kinetics of degradation. And the catalytic activity was best at the basic pH, 9 pH. The catalytic activity of the nanocomposite was much better. And as the amount of the catalyst increased, the catalytic activity of the nanocomposite increased. And at higher temperature, the catalytic activity of the nanocomposite was much better. And this is how I recovered the nanocomposite just by using a magnet. The solution had all the nanoparticles, and I used a magnet to just separate them. It was very simple and easy. And I had to perform more number of reuse experiments, but due to time limitations, I could perform only one. And it had the peak, or the absorption peak of the reuse was almost as that of the first use. So it was a good result. In conclusion, the degradation of the dye was highest at a basic pH, that is 9. And as the amount of catalyst increased, the activity of the catalyst increased. And the degradation increased with the increase in temperature. The catalyst can be reused by just separating the catalyst with the magnet and calcinating at 400 degrees Celsius. And I also got this number 67% at normal light conditions, and I also performed the experiments in the presence of sunlight. Sunlight increased the degradation percentage to 87%. And there is a lot of scope for the same material by varying the amount of both the components, the OMS and the iron oxide. The activity can be checked. in this case, I had used 2 times as much as the manganese oxide, 2 times iron oxide as much as manganese oxide. And study of degradation of different organic compounds using the same nanocomposite. Octahedral molecular sieves have a very good oxidation capacity, and it also can be used in the synthesis of imines. So other organic compounds can also be degraded using the same nanocomposite. And study of different light sources, different wavelengths of light can be used to check if light is inducing any additional activity over the activity of the nanocomposite. And surface area measurement and activity correlation can be also studied. And thank you. I acknowledge my director for supporting me and my guide, Dr. Ranjit Kumar. And I also acknowledge Amity Institute of Advanced Studies and Research and Amity Institute of Environmental Toxicology, Safety and Management for their characterization facility. I also acknowledge the support of the organizers who financially supported me to attend this conference.
We have time for a couple of questions.
Can you try to use transmission electron microscopy to characterize just from AFM? It's a bit tricky, no?
Yeah, like due to the characterization facility limitations, I couldn't, but I would prefer to do TEM over AFM in any.
Do you know why in sunlight it works better than with artificial light in the room?
The presence of UV light might induce much more catalytic activity over the normal light. I am.
You just have more photons coming out, so it's
Yeah.
not calibrated, but okay.
Have you compared the performance with other methods of producing the light, like ionizing variation?
I can understand this.
Yeah, if you have compared the performance with other methods of cleaning and water, how does it perform compared to
Other catalysts, I have to compare. Comparison studies also required.
And did you have receivers of metal, heavy metal in solution? Have you faced it?
Oh, heavy metal. Oh, another group in my department is doing over these heavy metal degradation. There is one presentation in ASE, yesterday it was over heavy metals.
Next time you keep it,
Very short notice that I don't know if you are planning to attend the next session, but maybe you should know that the first talk has been cancelled. The one starting at 4 p.m. by Professor Jensen because he was ill, unfortunately, and could not attend the conference. So the next session starts at 4:30. Okay, so you have a long coffee break and plenty of time for discussion.